Have you ever wondered what the difference in performance is between Kevlar, titanium, and carbon fiber paddles? So I did an experiment to find out. Turns out they play a lot more alike than you think, so let's get into it. Hey, this is Braydon with Pickleball Effect. We're conducting an experiment today to determine how different facing layers on paddles affect performance. Specifically, we're going to look at Kevlar, titanium, and carbon fiber. Titanium face paddles are technically a PET and carbon fiber weave, but I'm going to call it titanium in this video since that's what it's known by and it's just easier to reference. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and check out my paddle reviews and podcasts. I'm always pumping out new stuff. All right, so for this experiment, I tested power, pop, and spin on 3 paddles with different facing materials. So we have Kevlar, titanium, and then technically a unidirectional T700 carbon fiber. These are all from Holbrook's Aero series. All 3 of these paddles are built the exact same other than the top facing layer, which has that different material so that we know that any differences we see come because of the changes in the facing material. First, let's look at power. To measure power, I hit 10 serves as hard as I could and measured the average speed in miles per hour with my fancy Stalker Pro 3S speed gun. Ranking them in order, we had the Kevlar on top with an average serve speed of 54.3, then carbon fiber at 54.1, and titanium at 53.6. The Kevlar and carbon fiber are so close, it's difficult to really say one is more powerful than the other, though we can say that both are more powerful than titanium. Now let's look at pop. To measure pop, I took the average speed of 10 punch volleys. For this one, we got the same ranking as power, but the numbers were even closer. Kevlar had an average speed of 34.2, carbon was 34.1, and titanium was 33.9. Though we have them ranked here, I don't feel like there's enough of a difference to say one is more poppy than the other. It's pretty much a wash. Now let's look at spin. Each paddle has a peel ply grit applied to their surface. The only difference is that facing layer. So to measure spin, I hit 10 serves, adding as much spin as I could, and again, used my Stalker Pro 3S speed gun to measure speed and rotations per minute, or RPMs. The results were just like pop. They were all very close. Kevlar had an average of 1998 RPMs, while titanium had 1993, and carbon had 1986. No surface material had a clear advantage here. I will say though that based on empirical evidence from reviewing paddles that the grit on Kevlar surfaces seems to wear down a little bit quicker than carbon fiber surfaces, and the jury is still out on titanium surface grit since I just haven't played as many of those paddles yet. Lastly, I'll briefly talk about the feel of each surface because there was some nuance there. Generally speaking, this whole series is on the softer feeling side, and I'm being a little bit nitpicky with the differences in feel, but the titanium felt the most plush and had a sort of springy feel to it, while the Kevlar had the stiffest and most responsive feel to it, and the carbon fiber was just subtly softer than the Kevlar. If all these paddles looked the exact same and I had to hit them blindly, I think I'd be able to pick up the titanium paddle, though picking the carbon and Kevlar apart would be more difficult. So what's this all mean, and what paddle surface is the best? I think the results indicate that the variances between the materials really aren't that different. They are more subtle than I expected, so there really isn't a best surface per se, and the performance of a paddle goes well beyond just the top facing layer, so we shouldn't judge a paddle by only considering the face. However, titanium does give you a little softer feel and a little less power versus the other two, which are more similar in performance, though Kevlar might have the slightest edge offensively. Each face does give you a very different look though, and picking between the surfaces might simply come down to cosmetic differences and what you think looks the coolest. Lastly, I'll say that though this has been a fun test and it gives us a good idea of how they compare, it isn't conclusive. There are lots of different types of Kevlar and carbon fiber materials out there that could produce different results than what I got for this test. And I'm not a robot, so while I did my best to control what variables I could in my testing, it isn't perfect and my results shouldn't be viewed as definite. So there you have it. Thanks for watching and I hope it helps.
Are you on the hunt for anything, even non-pickler related, for Black Friday deals?
No, I'm not a big Black Friday guy.
Oh, yeah. I just eat this crap up.
Oh, man.
I'm only on the hunt for one thing.
What do you need?
I want some slippers.
Okay.
My little toesies get cold when I'm sitting at my desk. I need some warm slippers. I'm going to get some fancy ones.
Oh, man, I was going to say, do you want
some real good ones.